Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Childhood Finds, and I got a big video for you today. It is my biggest buy I've ever made, and it may be a giant mistake. It was a lot of money to spend. I spent $1,100 on this buy, and although I don't think it was a mistake, I figured we'd make a video about it, and we would talk all about this item that we are going to be looking at today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the collection, and I'm going to turn it over to also show you some of the most valuable pieces. I'll show you maybe my listings, and then I will do like my Grateful Dead bear buy, and I will list every single item that I'm going to list out of this lot, total it up, show you what kind of money I'm going to be looking at making. And I think this could be a valuable video for people that are looking to buy collections, seeing the work that needs to go into it, making smart decisions, because when you see this buy, it's pretty amazing. But me spending $1,100 was terrifying because I am not made of money right now. Life is hard right now. So I want to share this all with you guys. So let's go ahead and just start looking at it. So here's the first look. This is just one table full of this, and this is primarily Department 56 Christmas and Halloween Village. And this isn't all of it, my friends. We've got another tote over here. That tote down there is full. This tote over here is full. And last but not least, this tote here is full. This is Opie's cousin making an appearance. So all of these are full. And I am mildly overwhelmed, but let's start talking about some things to consider if you buy items like this. Okay, so anytime you buy any sort of village pieces or village accessories, Department 56 is a good brand to look for. I also have a little bit of Lemax, but Lemax in general is typically good to look for. But you need to look at condition. Condition on these is everything. And I can't tell you how many times I have found, especially the big houses at thrift stores, yard sales, etc., and got super excited because they were cheap. But then when I went to check them, I didn't always check them. I made a few mistakes first. They were wrecked. And it happens. There's a lot of little fragile pieces. It's super easy to happen. But you really need to check the condition. So, like this one right here, I spot checked all these, not all of, I didn't look at every single one, but I spot checked them, checked quality, and that gave me a good indication of what I can be expecting from this collection. And I am so pleased, at least from what I looked at before. We're going to look at one that I have not looked at yet. This is 56 Flavors Ice Cream Parlor. So even if it's obnoxious, pull them out. If you're buying just a couple, especially at a yard sale, just pull them out and check them. It's worth the time, unless they're like a quarter and you want to gamble, do it. But I spent a decent amount of money on all of this, so I want to make sure that it was worth it. So here it is. Let's look. Oh my gosh, beautiful. And this is, again, I hadn't looked at this one, but this is the quality that I'm dealing with. A lot of the ones, I'm way too close. A lot of the ones I was looking at were still in plastic. You can tell this one has not been plugged in, but it's got the light and everything here. And I don't see any chips pieces. Even the little cherry stem here is safe. Those are the things you need to look at. You need to look at all the little pieces. This doesn't actually have very many of the little pieces like they usually do, but there's usually little people, there's little signs. Just check all of it because that's going to make such a difference on your value. Other things to consider with these kind of pieces, size doesn't always matter. So this piece here, not very big, pretty small. It's a Lemax, but same idea. And it is I'm probably going to list this for around $80+ I found solds of the inside for around that. The packaging is not in great shape, but the item is in really good shape. So that's probably about $80. And that's going to be more than this ice cream parlor that I just showed you. That will sell for more. Other things to consider with these. Look every single piece up. because even little small pieces can be valuable, just like I showed you. And especially if they are retired, if they're ones that they're not releasing anymore, they're not making new reiterations about, then those are definitely going to hold some more value. So definitely check them out, guys. Also be prepared for the packing. If you sell something like this, you need to put this in a box. This still needs to have adequate padding on the outside with the styrofoam. You can't put that in a poly mailer, even if it has like the little light box outer layer. Don't put that in a poly mailer. You need to box them to keep them safe for customers, to give them the best chance of getting their item intact and having the best customer service. But I'm going to unbox some more of these and keep going through them, guys. And then we're going to switch over. I'm going to show you some of the more valuable pieces. I'm going to tell you if I've sold some at the end and tell you how I'm doing on the collection. So I'll post this video a little behind after buying it, but I'm excited. This is one of those amazing lots that you don't come by every day, and it's going to get me through the rest of this winter while we wait for the next season. So let's switch over. I might add in some more clips of the rest of them out on the table, and then we'll keep rolling. Here is a second tableful. And every single one I have checked, guys, has been perfect. The most important is Frankie's hot dog. That one's probably at least 150 in this beautiful condition it's in. Lucky Dragon Restaurant is also an 80 plus one. And the other ones to surprise you with, probably 50, probably 80, probably 80, probably 30. I mean, I didn't expect this lot to be so good. When I buy villages and lots like this, I expect there to be broken things. I expect all of that. And I am kind of blown away right now. I'm sure I will find some broken, but so far, every single one I've looked at is perfect. All right, here's round 3 of table filling. It's a huge variety of all the different shapes and sizes, and the last couple of the Lamax. There's only about 6 or 7 Lamax pieces. And here's the final table full of all of them. And I'm already exhausted and I haven't listed a single one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few that have sold, and then I'm also going to show you some of my more valuable ones that I still have left and talk a little bit during this. This first one is a Department 56 North Pole Series Naughty or Nice Detective Agency. This one was basically never used, never opened until I opened it, and it sold for $99.95 very, very quickly. And it is a larger one. It's a 6-piece set. And then this is Gus's Drive-In. This is a highly desirable one, and it was in wonderful condition. And this one sold also quickly for $84.95. Keep in mind, the longest I have had any of these listed is 2 weeks. So any of these that are selling are pretty quick sellers. And there's more that I have sold that I'm not showing you. I just want to show you some of the more valuable ones. And then this one's a Peanuts Gang Trick or Treats Halloween ceramic figurine and box, also in beautiful condition. I ended up taking a best offer of $55 for this one. And then also, I talked about you need to check for flaws. So even if there are some flaws, if it's still a desirable piece, and as long as you disclose it, they can still sell for good money. So I priced this one incredibly competitively. It had a small flaw, not a very big one, but it still sold so fast for $46.95. And it's a McDonald's light up the night sign. Perfect condition. I probably could have got $10 more for it. So it will vary how much you will have to discount depending on the flaw. But do keep that in mind. Just because they are not completely perfect doesn't mean you can't sell them. People still want these, and they are so easy to have flaws and break that people kind of expect it, I think. Then this one I wanted to show you because it's 2 inches tall, and it sold for $40. And it is just a snowboard artist. This basically looks like nothing special at all, but it sold for $40 and is a highly desirable piece. There's a few like that that just blew me away. I have a couple other little ones that I don't think I included one, but there was another one that this size that sells for $40 regularly. Here is one of the Lamacs that I sold. This one sold for around $31 on a best offer, and it's just keeping watch. Santa's Wonderland elf watching for Santa figure. This is also why you should utilize the research tool in eBay when you are looking up prices. If I had looked this one up and only took into account the last 90 days of solds, I wouldn't have priced this very high, probably $15, maybe $20. But because I went into the research tab and I looked in the past 3 years sold history, I was able to see that this actually did regularly sell for more, but it just didn't come to market a lot, so people were pricing it down. So do keep that in mind on some of these that are not as common, that it does help to check on the research tab. This one is the most valuable. So now these ones are going to be ones that I have not sold yet. There are still more valuable ones that I don't own, but I wanted to show you the ones that I had that were the most valuable, just if you happen to see them out there. And this one is Frankie's Hot Dogs. I showed this one when I was showing the haul, and this one sells for around 150 to 180 to 200. Mine was basically in new condition, so I do have a 10% off going on in my store right now for pretty much most of my items because of a new business opportunity. I'm just trying to move stuff, but I have a 10% off going right now, and so it's at $161.95, but it would probably sell for the $180. That sale is going to end in a couple days though. And then here's another one that's large, and it's Elf Mountain Ski Resort. This one's $70 that it sells for. So again, these don't look, like Frankie's Hot Dog. I would not look at that one and be like, yeah, that's the one. Because I would think, if it was like Disney related, the Peanuts one, those are the ones I would definitely think are valuable. But Frankie's Hot Dogs, no. So that's why it does help to look these up. They will surprise you. You just have to be willing to pack them. And they're really not too bad to pack. What I do personally is a lot of these bigger houses, I have square boxes. So I buy my boxes, guys. I can't source enough boxes not to buy. And so I buy a lot of cube boxes. And these bigger villages houses do really well either in the 10-10-10, 12-12-12, or the 14-14-14 boxes. And they just fit very well. And I use medium bubbles. I wrap either side multiple times, and then I stuff with packing paper that I need to fill in the gaps. And that so far has worked really well sending these, but I do know that those boxes can be expensive, but it's worth the $1 or $2 a box for me to have peace of mind that it's going to make it. And I don't have to scramble for a box because these are large. And I know exactly what I'm going to be shipping them in when I make my listing. So especially these really large ones, you want to make sure to account if they have to go into like a 14-14-14, because that will affect the cubic shipping rate and the cost will go up. And you don't want to have to eat the extra if you mess up on your dimensions. So keep that in mind. And here is the Lucky Dragon one. So this one actually had quite a few flaws. Not a lot of my things had flaws, but of course one of the really valuable ones did. But I'm still listing it. It still is very displayable. The things that are wrong with it aren't really that noticeable when it's put out on a table. But I showed them all. I showed a ton of pictures. I explained it in the description. And I'm still expecting to get 40 to 50 for this one. And this is one of those that I'm going to have to put into probably a 14-14, and then I can maybe cut it down to 12. But I took that into account when I made the listing so that shipping was accurate. And then this is Santa Taylor clothing store. Again, wouldn't really think this is super valuable, but $65 is about what it sells for in this condition. And then here's some of the smaller ones I wanted to show you, because again, size doesn't always matter on these. And this is Department 56 Halloween Snow Village Little Ghouls Field Trip. and I originally had it for $53 listed. It absolutely will probably sell for that. A lot of these I'm probably going to have to hold on to until the holiday season, but you'll be surprised how much I've sold so far that I'm going to show you here soon. And then this one also, you can see in the picture, it's barely 4 inches wide, and it's Little Space Explorers. A lot of the Halloween ones definitely were pretty good. I love picking up the Halloween stuff, especially Halloween Lamax. And then here are a couple of the Lamax ones that were valuable that I showed you. The Lamax Carnival Billboard, and this one sells for around $70 to $80. Reed is because the packaging is in poopy shape. So I just shared that. And then here is the Fortune Teller one that also sells for around $70 to $80. So now I am going to show you my spreadsheet. I'm going to show you everything I have listed, the value of it, how much I've sold so far, and also go over some oopsies. Okay, so I have listed all the ones that I have put up so far on eBay. I will say I missed some. I must have missed some putting them onto this spreadsheet because I am not as high a number as I should be. Because when I counted these originally, it was definitely, I wasn't that far off. So here they all are. You can see all the names. You can see my listed value. So keep in mind, I put the listed value because I want to see exactly how much, if everything sold for full price, what I'm looking at. But then also, I'm putting for sold for. So I want to at least see that I'm making my money back so I can stop panicking. So let's look at all of these. You can see every single one here, all the different prices that I have listed them for. There's many that are $11, $10, $12, $15. It just, it just varied by piece. And then I put what they sold for, if it was like an offer. So this one's sitting in the Village sold for $31.46, but a fair amount are selling for full price as well. I put the date just for fun. And so you can see all of them. So many, guys. So many. I have taken quite a few offers, but I'm not budging a ton on my price. So probably 15% is about the most I have budged on my price for now. Because also, I'd rather wait at least one holiday season before I start blowing things out. Because once Halloween hits, these Halloween ones are going to fly out if they don't before then. But what I would say is I have sold close to about 30 items so far in the 2 weeks. And I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good amount, a really nice little sell-through rate for these guys. And now let's go look at the totals. So here's what I'm talking about. I'm at 165. I should be around 180. There's one I haven't listed because it didn't have the box, and I just went, I don't want to deal with that yet because I want to just pre-box it. So I haven't touched that one yet. So it would be at 166 with that one. There is definitely, I could have been off a little when I was counting them, but not off by this much. But besides the point, I listed 165. And then I've also included down here ones that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were broken. 6 were just broken and not worth selling. 1 I broke. Whoops. I'd say a couple others had flaws. I'd probably say 10 total were broken or flawed. Out of how many I've listed, that's a great ratio. I am not upset by that. If you bought a big lot, you could check every single one, but I did spot check these. So I didn't see those when I first bought it, but I'm still okay with. And then I also put if I lotted them up with a different one. So I'm not upset with this. Let's look at the numbers now. So the listed value is around $4,400. With the other one I still have to list, it'll be right at $4,500 roughly. And I've sold $1,012.06 worth. So I am close to my $1,100. Of course, I haven't made $1,100 because of fees, but I'm very happy with this. No, this wasn't a super home run. I'm not 10 timesing my money, but when you factor in, I'm going to make a couple grand off of this lot, and it probably took me a good week's worth of work. I did it off and on over a couple weeks, but if I buckled down, I could have probably done all of it in about a week to get them all listed. But I'd say, it's a good return on my investment. I am very happy with it. It was very good items for my store. So I encourage you, if you do bulk buys and you're still learning and you're nervous, do what I did. Just write out everything, single thing you're listing. Yes, it takes more time, but it really helped me get perspective on like my Grateful Dead bear buy. That was a really good buy, and it helps me see this one. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do, just so I can really track what I'm doing. It just helps keep my business in line. So guys, that's everything I'm going to share with you today. And thank you for joining me. I was excited to be able to share this haul with you.